Welcome to Stick Like Glue Radio, the only podcast dedicated to helping you create an everlasting bond with your customers so they stay longer, spend more, and refer more. Marketing and business building expert Jim Palmer, known internationally as the Newsletter Guru, is a serial entrepreneur, author, speaker, and coach to other entrepreneurs. Jim is the host of Newsletter Guru TV, a weekly web TV show featuring Jim's unique brand of smart marketing and business building advice. Check it out today at www.newsletterguru.tv. Please welcome your host of Stick Like Glue Radio, Jim Palmer.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Stick Like Glue Radio, the only podcast dedicated to helping you create an everlasting bond with your customers so they stay longer, spend more, and refer more. And those are all great things in any business. I am your host, Jim Palmer. I'm committed to helping you build a more profitable business faster. Really excited about this week's show because my special guest expert is David Jenyns, who is from Australia. He's an internet marketer, very well renowned. And let me just give you a little quick bio on Jason. His impressive entrepreneurial journey begins back in his early 20s when he sold Australia's most loved sporting ground, the Melbourne Cricket Ground. And since then, his business experience spans from everything from developing and franchising retail stores, building multi-million-dollar portfolio of over 500 domains and websites, to founding Melbourne SEO Services and Melbourne Video Productions, who together help businesses grow through innovative online marketing systems. Recognized as a high-achieving entrepreneur and online marketer, David has been a keynote speaker at countless conferences and seminars, as well as featured in dozens of publications, including Australian Financial Review, Smart Investor, and other media, such as Nova Radio and Channel 9's Today Show. So, David, thanks so much. We had a heck of a time connecting with our busy schedules and our time zone differences, but thanks for being on the program today.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Excited to be on the line and share some ideas.
You know, you and I, in addition to having internet marketing and things like that in common, I didn't realize that you had been in franchising. I had spent a number of years franchised a business, a retail store. We went from 14 stores to 80 stores, so it was quite a ride back in the early 90s.
Wow, yeah. Ours, I'm not too sure if you know the Hot Topic brand where you are in the States. We didn't have anything quite like that over in Australia, so we were just trying to get up and running. Oh, that's probably going back about 10 years. But it was definitely a wild ride. Retail was a tough gig.
Yeah. You know, I don't know, what time period were you in franchising? What was the year?
It was just a little bit after the internet boom, so we're kind of looking around 2003.
Okay.
And we probably ran with it for a good 6-7 years or thereabouts, and then we kind of just closed the retail arm or the physical store and just doubled down on the online side of the business because it was going so well.
Wow, good for you. You know, when we were franchising in the early 90s, you know, we were doing really well, and then all of a sudden what started happening, and I don't think this was the case for your time period, but interest rates started really going up. In other words, people could make 10-15%, you know, with not even knowing what they're doing. And so as a retail opportunity, which is what we were selling, we're telling people, look, if you work 60 hours, you know, you can hope to make 10%. They're like, well, crap, I could put in the stock market and make 15. So, you know, franchising really slowed down here in the States at kind of the mid-90 time period.
Yeah, I think with a lot of business opportunities, it's all about being at the right time in the right place, because when the tide's going up in certain industries, you can do well even as an average operator, and it's sort of the tide goes out that it really sort of starts to, you know, sort the real businesses from those that were just taking advantage of the lift. And when things got pretty hard with retail, that's when I kind of realized, hang on, there are easier models to work on.
You know, I was checking out your website, and you know, I love the fact that you have a tab under there called Values, which is really cool. Because I'm a very values-driven person. We share a lot of the same integrity and ethical quality, all that kind of stuff, which is cool. I also read where you were inspired a lot by Dan Kennedy, who's a big mentor of mine, and also Jay Abraham. When did you kind of come into that whole direct marketing world?
Yeah, just prior to getting into retail space, my business partner and I at the time had written a study guide on how to use a particular charting software for the stock market. So we'd written this guide and it sold really well in our immediate community, but then we realised you can have a great product, but unless people know it exists, it's not much. And outside of the immediate community, not very many people knew about what we were doing. So that's why I'm interested in, I suppose, the marketing side of things and learning how to get the word out. Started off with some of the greats, Dan Kennedy, Jay Abraham, and then kind of shifted into, early days internet marketing when Yannick Silver and Corey Rudell and people like that were just, Mark Joyner, that was just sort of starting to bubble up there. So, I mean, that was probably, just a little bit after sort of 2000, around there.
That is so cool. You're very big on YouTube. I know you're quite an internet marketing expert. If you, as I mentioned, you have your company doing SEO work and things like that. Do you have a favorite area of the business, so to speak, that you like to specialize in, or?
Yeah, I mean, it would have to be video. I feel like video is still one of the lowest hanging fruit online right now for a multitude of reasons. I mean, I know the SEO space is definitely getting more competitive. Video, people still haven't quite figured it out. The internet's starting to pick up. It's a great positioning tool. It's a great way to pre-sell content as well, pre-sell your products and services. And I think the biggest thing for me is it's just to really duplicate yourself, and you take you as your best salesperson or whoever your best salesperson is, and then through the use of video you can and clone them, and then that's out there forever. You've got it online and it's continuing to work whether or not you're there or not. So I really like work in business, and when growing business, that you focus on that's do work once, but you get a very leveraged effect. And I think video falls into that category, and it's a huge trend, and it's still early days. I know YouTube's been around for a little while now, but it's in the grand scheme of things, it's actually very early days and a huge trend with a lot more time left with that particular rising market.
Yeah, I do a lot of things. I mean, I obviously have my blog, article marketing, my podcast, my videos. I do a lot of social media, email, direct mail. But, every time someone asks me what's the number one thing, it's hard to answer that question because it all, kind of helps each other. But video, without a doubt, as I mentioned to you before we jumped on, I've been doing weekly videos called Newsletter Guru TV, started my 5th year in July, and without a doubt, these weekly videos have helped position me and helped grow my business more than anything, especially the coaching business, because David, you know this, when you write good articles or things like that, I mean, even a really, really great writer can sometimes have a hard time connecting passion and just words on paper. Mm-hmm. And then when, I think when people get into audio and started adding audio to websites, I think that was pretty cool. And then doing teleseminars, you can hear voice inflection, you can hear some of their passion and excitement for what they're doing. But there's nothing like video for having people get to know, like, and trust you, overcome that hurdle that we all need to overcome as business owners. And it is a lot of work, I mean, doing weekly videos is no small commitment, but it without a doubt, it's a very, very powerful thing. How have you found video to help grow your business?
Yeah, I think one of the key things that we've used it for, like you were saying, as far as like pre-selling and positioning and things like that, we often run workshops, a couple of workshops a year. I'll record those workshops and then I'll cut them into little pieces, upload them to YouTube, and then at the end of each video it's got a call to action which drives the person back to our website, which helps sell either things. It's either a home study option or to work a little bit more closely if they want a more of a done-for-you type service. So that particular method of taking one piece of content and then cutting it up into hundreds and then just putting them on the web, almost like breadcrumbs that lead back to our website. It's been so great for pre-selling customers, because they'll watch me in front of an audience and they'll start to build up that rapport and trust. And by the time they get to the website, they're pre-sold that I'm the guy that they want to work with, and then it's just a matter of finding out what's the right product or service for them. I mean, that coupled with we also do, I mean, that's one type of video that we create, but I also like doing a lot of frequently asked questions. So, I mean, this is just basic copywriting stuff. You think about the conversation that's going on in the person's mind just prior to them making a purchase with you. And then if you know what that conversation is, creating a piece of content, a video around that particular topic, answering a question they might have when they're in research mode, is great, because you're finding them at just the right time. Then you're answering their question and you're kind of showing them that you're their trusted advisor, and then you're compelling them to take the next step, which is to find out more about you. So I think, I mean, video just plays a real key part, and I think all businesses can take advantage and benefit of the use of video.
You know, what was interesting for me is about, I think it was about 2 years ago, David, a gentleman got on the phone with me. He was interested in, exploring a private coaching arrangement. And I'd never heard of him before, haven't talked to him before. And when he got on the phone, you thought we had known each other for a long time. He's asking me about kayaking, about my dog Toby, all this and that, which is all stuff that's in my videos. And he also said, Jim, one of the reasons I want to talk to you about coaching is, he goes, I see you as the Andy Griffith of marketing. And I didn't quite know what he meant at first. But, the more I thought about it, it was kind of a down-home, regular guy, trustworthy, all those images of what Andy Griffith was to a lot of people. And that, he said, I've just been watching you for over a year. And I'm thinking, doggone, everybody that always says, oh, Jim, you're spending all that time doing videos, you have no idea if anybody's watching, that is concrete proof as to their effectiveness.
That feeling is quite rewarding as well when you go to a conference. I know you attend different things and speak at different events, and the same, when you attend an event and you have more than one of the attendees come up and say to you, wow, I've watched your videos for X number of years, and it's really had an impact on the way that I do business, and what you say really resonates with me. And it's almost like they've been following along at home, whether or not they've made a purchase now or they make a purchase a little bit further down the track. It's just a great way to get them into you, let them get to know you. Some people are ready to take the step straight away and make the purchase, but other people want to have a little bit more of a dating period where they get to know you and find out a little bit about your style and make sure it fits with them. I mean, everybody resonates differently with different people, and it's about finding that the few people that have good quality material that resonates with you, and then you take that philosophy on, you try it, and if it works for you, then you kind of adjust it and add it into the way that you do things, and then that becomes part of your style. And I think it's just it's like nothing else. I mean, you talked about writing copy and other ways to connect online in the web, and you're right, video is just one of those things. It's the closest you'll ever get to actually sitting down with someone and working with them one-on-one.
It really is, and it's just so powerful. And so we're going to take a quick pause here for a very brief time out, but on the other side, I want to ask my special guest, David, about the different types of videos to use. So stay tuned. We will be right back.
As a marketing coach or small business consultant, you know that the fastest way to help your clients increase their profits is by getting more repeat business and more referrals from their current customers. You also know that the best way for your clients to develop stronger, healthier, and more profitable relationships with their customers is with a monthly customer newsletter. That's right, a hard copy, printed, and mailed monthly newsletter. Trouble is, you can recommend your clients use a newsletter, but they're just too busy to do it themselves, and hiring someone can cost hundreds, if not thousands per month, and in the end, it just doesn't get done. Now, instead of simply recommending that your clients use a customer newsletter, you can provide them with an amazing done-for-you newsletter program. The No Hassle Newsletter System is a complete, done-for-you, profit-boosting solution for your customers and clients. Every month, your clients get a great newsletter that their customers actually look forward to and enjoy reading, and that not only keeps their business top of mind, it makes you a marketing hero. The No Hassle Newsletter Master Reseller Program is a complete turnkey newsletter system that solves your client's biggest need, and it also adds a lucrative new revenue stream for your business. Become a master reseller today at www.nohasslenewsletters.com. That's www.nohasslenewsletters.com.
All right, we are back. Let's get right back to my special guest, David Jenyns. David, what are some of the kinds of videos that entrepreneurs and small business owners can use to promote and market their businesses?
Yeah, I think perhaps the most important is making sure that they have a video that captures the essence of who they are, that really tells their story. Everybody's got a story, and it's a matter of telling that in a way that someone who's watching it, the right person, that target market, can really connect with it. And I think telling that story is probably one of the most important. I think there's quite a few different ones that I recommend. Once you've got that one in place, the next one is collecting the proof. Now, it doesn't matter which industry you're in, what product or service that you're selling. The biggest hurdle that someone has to overcome before doing business with you is believing what you say is true. So the way to overcome that is by giving them so much proof that, beyond a shadow of a doubt, you kind of demonstrate that you're the real deal. Now, this is something that can't be faked and typically takes time to collect as you start working with clients, capturing little testimonials and feedback of their experience working with you, or if you've got a particular product that does something, having some sort of demonstration type video is really key. That's probably one of the ones that even to this day I'm always collecting, and I've got a really large database of testimonials that we've collected both in video format, written format. It's always best to get video because then you can strip out and deliver it in other ways. You can have it in just the audio, you can have the transcript, so it's always best to start with video there. The other one that we like is frequently asked questions. So that was similar to what I was talking about in the first segment, where I was saying there's a conversation going on in the mind of your potential prospect, and you want to think about what that is and answer those questions right up front. And also it kind of is a way to break through the noise. A lot of your prospects, before they become your clients, are having these similar questions, and you've probably got your support staff or your team or yourself answering the same questions over and over. So as a way to leverage, make yourself recording a video of you answering that question and then having your support team send that out when people ask questions, it's a great way to get across the best quality message. They're probably the top three. I've got a few other ones, but telling the story, collecting the proof, and frequently asked questions are probably the most important, in my opinion.
I work with a lot of entrepreneurs, and one of the things I hear frequently, I don't know if you do the same, David, is people are really nervous to get in front of the camera and shoot a video and then blast it out there on YouTube or whatever. Do you have any? First of all, did you encounter that? Did you get over it, or how do you coach people on how to get in front of the camera?
Yeah, I think the first time anyone does anything, there's definitely a level of nervousness or just unsure, and it just comes from not necessarily knowing. And the first video that someone makes is always going to be the worst. You continually get better. Some of my early videos, actually, I look back at them now, I'm quite embarrassed looking at them. When I came from the stock market education niche, I did a particular series when my bedroom was my office. So I'm sitting with my desk next to it, and this is going back, again, it was just when we were starting to market that course, so it was very, very, very early 2000. And I look at some of those videos, and they're really bad. But every new video that you kind of do, they just kind of get better and better and better and level up. So I think the real key is, one, you just have to get started, understanding that the first few are going to be the worst. Try and, just in the back of your mind, think about good quality audio is important. So if you can have some sort of mic or something like that, that's always good. At lighting, just making sure that you've got some good light on your face. I mean, if you don't have any lights, just you could potentially do it outside or something where the sun is on your face. And I'd say not reading from a script is probably something else I'd recommend. People have a tendency when they first get started, because they're not too sure and they want to make sure that they make it perfect first out of the gate, they'll write a script. But when someone's writing a script or reading from a script, it's still very canned and oftentimes inauthentic. If you look at a professional newsreader, he's been doing that or she's been doing that for years and trained and developed in a way that it doesn't feel like they're reading. A lot of people are reading from a script. I mean, everybody's had that experience of looking at a video and you're just like, ooh, that feels, not real. I think that's the real key. When people watch videos, and we're talking about connecting, you want them to feel like, oh, this feels real, or this is real, to be real. That's, people connect with that realism. And I think with things like reality television and stuff like that, it's made people more accepting of video that isn't necessarily super, super slick. It's not to say that you have a real shocking video, but it also doesn't need to be, a $100,000 production. So you can make very good quality stuff, even on an iPhone and some of the new smartphones. And if you're a little bit of budget, go search out a university student. I'm sure you can find someone who's studying film who's probably to get some runs on the board or work for a great price as well, and that's going to make your videos better than 9 out of 10 videos out there, and I think that's what will make you stand out from the competition.
Yeah. There's two others that I'll add to that. That was a really phenomenal list you just gave there. There's two others that I would add, and number one is focus on the audio as well, which seems kind of contradictory. It's a video, but I think if you're watching a video and the audio, if it sounds like you're halfway across a room with a marble floor, I mean, it's very distracting. Even if the information is good, it's hard to listen to. And so even if the quality of the video is really good, it makes it seem somehow less of a lower quality if it's bad audio. So I use a very simple camera, and I think it's a $22 lapel mic that plugs in. It's got like a 30-foot cord, and it just gives you great audio. So do that. And the second piece of advice I usually give is focus on one person. If you think that if you think of the hundreds or else thousands of people that might be watching your video, it sometimes will, give you a little bit of the butterflies. But if you focus on one person, in other words, like we're all taught to think of our avatar, who's our perfect target customer. And if you think of that one person instead of, hundreds or thousands, it really helps you. And so what I do is I have a conversation with the lens. And when I look in the lens, I'm actually thinking of just one person. And so you just have a conversation. And so the thing there is when you have a conversation and when people play it back, they think you're having the conversation with them, each and every one of them individually. So those are two things that I would add to that.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. I think that speaking to one person, it's the same when you're on stage presenting or talking to some sort of audience, and really that's what you're doing in video. You are talking to a larger audience. Sometimes people have a tendency to say, you all and who here and those types of sweeping statements. But no matter what message you're delivering, when you think about it, it's always being received by one person. So talking in terms of you and specifically to one person is going to make sure that it's got the best chance of connecting with a person, because it doesn't feel like it's broad. It really feels like it's being directed at someone. So I think that's, an excellent idea. And with video, I always like to finish as well with a call to action. That's always really important. Once they get through whatever the message is, just classic copywriting stuff, you want to tell them what that next step is and how they might find out more about you.
Absolutely. And just so everybody's clear, the call to action doesn't have to be, hey, click this button and buy. If you're doing informational or free training type of videos, you could tell them what you want them to do by way of a challenge. So listen, take this piece of advice and then, kind of fill in the blank of whatever your message was. And so that's a call to action as well. So, not everything is about the purchase. Hey, David, I got one more question for you. Can you think of, I shared earlier about, how the videos have helped me build my coaching program. What would be a success story about how videos have helped you in your business? What's the first thing that resonates with you?
Yeah. When we actually launched Melbourne SEO Services, one of the first videos that we used to launch that particular company, because, I'd come from the stock market education background. My business partner actually headed in another direction because in Australia they'd changed a lot of the financial law as far as what was considered financial advice and what information that you could give without a license. And he ended up heading in one direction, I headed in another, and that's when I set up MelbourneSEOservices.com. And we used a video because I wanted to come to market and make a little bit of a splash, and we did a Google versus Yellow Pages video. It was a vox pop. We went down onto the streets and basically asked people how they found products and services when they were looking for things, and to basically see if people were still using the Yellow Pages for anything more than just propping up their monitors and things like that. And it became really clear in that it was just a great way to demonstrate the new way, the new media that people use for finding products and services. Looking back now, it's got close to 30,000 views. It's something, and I have it very early on in my sequence, and when people visit and land on Melbourne SEO Services, I set it as like a sticky post on the blog, because it just resonates with people and they just get it. That was one. We've used a video in a lot of different ways, even as an affiliate. Again, probably just prior to setting up Melbourne SEO Services, I used to do a lot of stuff as an affiliate, and there was a particular program that I was selling, and I did a review for that product. It's got well over 50,000 views, and that video alone, and I made it quite a few years ago now, is got me to the top of the affiliate heap in that particular product. And each month, even to this day, because it's a recurring revenue product, I get a couple of $1,000s each month, and that was from one video. Now, again, that was a case of being at the right place at the right time. I think making a video on this particular product, now that was early days, and I did say, don't buy XYZ product, and then people will watch the video because that headline really captures them as far as the name of the video when they're searching for a particular product, and then I kind of, don't buy it until you find out a little bit more. And not that I market that way anymore. That's some pretty old school marketing, and I actually don't like that marketing these days anymore. But I suppose it just goes to show, though, how successful, one video can be. Just one really good quality video has just been create a really great, low work required, ongoing revenue stream for me. So they're just a couple off the top of my head.
That's awesome. Hey, this has been just a really unbelievable show. You got so much great information to share. I really, really appreciate your time, David. How can folks that are listening to this podcast right now, how can they connect with you and learn more about you? What would be a good website to send them to?
Yeah, I think probably the Melbourne SEO Services one is the best way to go. So it's MELBOURNE SEO services.com. From there, that'll link through to a lot of the different material that we've got, the video side of things as well as a lot of the other online marketing stuff.
Awesome. Thank you so much, David, for being a great guest. Really appreciate it.
Pleasure. Talk to you soon.
All right, folks, that wraps up this very special episode of Stick Like Glue Radio with David Jenyns. Listen, Stick Like Glue Radio is the only podcast dedicated to helping you create an everlasting bond with your customers so they stay longer, spend more, and refer more, all great things. I'm your host, Jim Palmer, and I'm committed to helping you build a more profitable business faster. Watch for another great episode of Stick Like Glue Radio next week, and until then, keep taking action, keep moving your business forward, and don't ever, ever, ever give up. Now go out there and do something nice for somebody today. Take care, everybody.
You've been listening to Stick Like Glue Radio, the only podcast dedicated to helping you create an everlasting bond with your customers so they stay longer, spend more, and refer more. Stick Like Glue Radio features Jim Palmer's unique brand of smart marketing and business building advice for action-oriented entrepreneurs. To make sure you don't miss a single profit-boosting show, subscribe to this podcast at www.getjimpalmer.com. If you know other entrepreneurs looking for the fastest way to higher profits in their business, please tell them about the Stick Like Glue Radio podcast. Now go and implement what you've learned and boost your profits. See you next week for more Stick Like Glue Radio.